Today, we're going to dive into an ancient ethical framework that, believe it or not, offers a super powerful guide for our chaotic modern world. We're going to see just how timeless wisdom can provide real answers for today. I mean, we all feel it, right? That sense of being pulled in a million directions, caught between our own inner struggles and all the turbulence out there in the world. But what if I told you that a path to peace was actually laid out more than 2,500 years ago? So meet Vardaman, who we now know as Lord Mahavira. Now, he wasn't a god. He was a human being, and a prince, no less, born into royalty with every comfort you can possibly imagine. And yet, at 30 years old, he walked away from it all. He became a monk, searching for a real, lasting solution to all the pain and suffering he saw everywhere. So what was he looking for? Well, this: moksha, the ultimate liberation. You see, Jain philosophy explains that every soul is bound by these things called karmic atoms, these tiny particles that literally cling to us based on our actions, good or bad. The whole goal is to shed these karmas and reach a state of permanent bliss, totally free from that endless cycle of rebirth. Okay, so how do you even begin a journey like that? Mahavir taught that it all starts with a specific mindset, a solid foundation built on what are known as the three jewels of Jainism. These three are called the Triratna, and a great way to think of them is like a three-legged stool. If you take away even one leg, the whole thing just collapses. They're completely dependent on each other, working together as the one single path to freedom. Let's break them down. The journey kicks off with right faith, or samyak darshana. Now, this isn't blind faith. It's more of a deep conviction in the fundamental truths of the philosophy. You know, things like the existence of the soul. It's that essential first step that really makes the rest of the path even possible. Next up, we have right knowledge, or samyak jnana. And this isn't just about cramming your head full of facts. It's about getting a correct, clear, and really deep understanding of reality, the universe, the soul, the karmas that bind it, without any doubt or confusion. It's about seeing things exactly as they are. And that brings us to the third jewel, right conduct, or samyak charitra. Because, let's be real, faith and knowledge are crucial, but they don't mean much without action. Right conduct is all about putting what you believe into how you behave, and the whole framework for that is built on 5 simple but incredibly profound vows. All right, now we get to the vows themselves. And we have to start with the absolute cornerstone of Jain ethics, the highest vow of them all, ahimsa. This is one of the most recognizable symbols in Jainism. That open hand is basically a gesture of reassurance, a promise that says, hey, don't be afraid. And right in the center of the palm is a wheel with the word ahimsa. This is the very first and the most fundamental of the 5 great vows, also known as the Mahavratas. This quote from Lord Mahavira himself, it really says it all, doesn't it? In Jainism, nonviolence isn't just some nice idea. It is the supreme religious and ethical duty. Everything, and I mean everything, flows from it. So what does ahimsa actually mean? Well, it's an absolute commitment to not causing harm to any living being. But here's what's so fascinating, the sheer scope of this vow. It isn't just about physical actions. It extends to our words and even our thoughts. It demands a complete and total practice of compassion. In everyday life, this shows up in so many ways. It's the reason Jains are vegetarian. In fact, many even avoid root vegetables, like onions and potatoes, because when you harvest them, you can kill the entire plant and harm all the tiny microorganisms in the soil. And of course, this deep compassion naturally leads to a really strong environmental ethic, promoting a sustainable way of living. So, building on that foundation of non-violence, the next 2 vows really form the pillars of personal and social integrity. Let's look at how these 2 pillars support each other. First, you've got satya, or truthfulness. This is way more than just don't lie. It's a deep commitment to honesty in everything you say and do. Then you have asteya, or non-stealing. This means not taking anything that isn't freely given, and that could be property, credit for an idea, you name it. You can see how one reinforces the other, right? Together, they create a blueprint for a just and trusting society. The final 2 vows, well, they turn the focus inward. These are all about achieving mastery over our own desires and attachments. Brahmacharya is often translated as celibacy, and for monks and nuns, it is. But for everyone else, it's about moderation and having control over our sensual desires, channeling that energy towards spiritual growth instead.
This goes hand in hand with apagraha, or non-attachment. This is such a powerful idea. It's about cultivating detachment from possessions and even from unhealthy attachments to people. It's a direct counter to greed. It encourages a minimalist lifestyle, and it offers this profound sense of inner freedom from that constant pressure to always want more.
So, yeah, these vows were laid out thousands of years ago. But what's truly incredible is how directly they speak to the most pressing problems we are facing right now, here in the 21st century.
I mean, just look at this. Ahimsa offers a clear path away from violence and toward empathy. In an age of fake news, Satya is a desperate call for integrity and trust. Asteya gives us a framework for economic fairness and ethical behavior. Brahmacharya pushes back against runaway consumerism, reminding us to look for inner well-being. And Apargaha, well, it provides a powerful argument for sustainable, minimalist living to protect our planet. It's pretty much a complete guide for a better world.
So that leaves us with one final thought. You don't have to become a monk to feel the impact of this philosophy. But it does make you wonder, if you were to truly commit to practicing just one of these vows, nonviolence, truth, non-stealing, moderation, or non-attachment, how might your world and the world around you actually begin to change?